Yep. One of the question is, I'm a fresher. I don't know any coding language. Is Go useful for me? Yes, definitely. Yeah. What is the prerequisite for learning Go language? Is workshop will be helpful for a fresher to understand? Yep. These are the questions I think. And it's a licensed software or a free software? I think these are the most questions. All these things. Okay. Yes. To answer this, for a fresher, I can say that it's easy because I worked on Java or I worked on any other framework. I'll get some confusion. For a fresher, I can consider that this is a better language you can easily learn because it's simple to learn and there is a lot of scope. Uh, I cannot say exactly, but I can predict next 5 years definitely people will convert all their environments. All customers will convert their all their environments. Definitely, Go will be adoption rate is almost 60 to 70%. They will take care of that. Definitely, I can. I can. I mean, it's I can predict because of the things. Because it's a Google product. First point is it's a Google product. I'll take one example here. One of the Google product, YouTube. Before YouTube, Google was taken over, and after Google has taken over YouTube, how the demand, how the business today, it is a new revolutionary social media currently. If you have anything to share, if you have anything to publish, you'll choose the first option as YouTube. Because why? Previously also YouTube is there. Before Google acquisition, YouTube, previously also it's there, currently also it's there. But definitely the kind of options it is giving, the kind of features it is providing, that matters here. Why I'm taking this example is, if any programming language it want to be success, not only programming language, any feature you want to introduce into market, if that should be succeeded in a current competitive environment, three factors I can say that. I'm not about to programming language, I'm not talking about anything, any concept you have in your mind, if that concept want to enter into market, any kind, okay, it's not only IT, anything, okay. First thing is, people should feel it's easy to use. I should not use complex coding structures, complex environment, complex things. I should not use that. It should be very very simple to use. That is the first point. It will choose YouTube. Yes, is it simple? I can say that the people, I mean the kids with the age of 3 years. With the age of 3 years, I'm not really sure. If the less than also, I'm not really sure. With the age of 3 years, from with the age of 80 years, all kind of people are watching YouTube. And we'll get a question. I was really shocked actually. How can the 3 years people will use, how they don't know anything, how they use, right? Even my daughter, right? They will use, she will use voice search. Whatever video she want, she will click on voice icon and she will speak it up, and automatically the search will find it out, and it will, the respective videos will be coming up. So framework was think about customer perspective. That is the beauty of you Google design strategy. I can say that anyone who is using my framework, it should be easy to use. It should be very very easy to use, and it should be scalable. A scalable means I can say that if I click, I mean I can say that not scalable is a somewhat IT word. It should be quick. It should be very quick. Like if I click on the second, it should come. I cannot wait 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 minute. I don't have that much time. I want this. I want to get it. I don't care. It's your framework responsibility to get the things and show it to me on the fly. How much load YouTube will have, just how much data it is storing, how much volume it is having. So, hey, you don't think so? Why Sari is explaining YouTube? It's a Go session or YouTube session. Don't confuse, because underlying factor I'm telling. Okay, because of Go, it's a part of Google, and YouTube is also part of Google. I can trust the Google team, and I can definitely think this particular framework is going to be revolutionary framework upcoming years, right? And you see the volume of data YouTube uses, tons of data, and it is giving me in fraction of seconds what video you need, what section you need, what are you looking. Correct? Nowadays, if any person, even if Modi is saying something, I can see in YouTube. I no need to be there in my home. So everything, all the things option available for me. That is what a performance is. What my next option. That is the second factor. Easy to use is the first factor. Second factor is performance, and third factor is any time, forget about day or forget about night or forget about any time, it should be available for me. Sir, in the night, 10 to 12, my website is not available. It is under maintenance. Do you see any kind of that particular messages with YouTube? No. Every time, whenever you need, my application is up. My application is ready to use. And also, very interesting thing is towards the Indian market, because at that time, before our Ambani, so the great Ambani Geo, before that particular network comes into India, we don't have this much of luxury to use this kind of bandwidth or this much of internet. They thought of offline videos. Whenever you have internet, you can download that video and you can see that particular video when your internet is not there. That is offline content. So that is the features they have added. They leveraged that particular YouTube framework. Now it is a revolutionary. So based on that particular aspect, definitely I can say, I can think of, this is a powerful framework where it is addressing all the customer needs. Okay. Yes. Now I don't want to go into YouTube. Sorry. Just right. I thought of letting you know that based on the Google features, whatever the features still now Google is released. So based on that concept, so Google Go is also a part. Definitely, it's going to be a revolutionary framework. Okay. Right. Yes. Someone asked a question. Requirements. These requirements are not for developers. These requirements are a customer who want to, or a company who want their environment as Go. So I can say that you no need to have experience on Python, Ruby, some kind of new versions. You should know use Git versioning system like Git. It's a mandatory you to use Git, and you have in a Bash or any kind of shell window, or I mean by default, this I captured this particular information based on the company needs, because a lot of companies they will not use Windows operating system as their production environment. Definitely they will go with Unix or Mac or AX, or definitely they will go with iOS, some kind of environments. So on that perspective, it should be a shell and a text editor. It can be IntelliJ or Atom or Eclipse. I mean, just I have not added any a Windows environment here. Please don't think that it is not from developer perspective. It is from, this particular information is captured from a company perspective, or a, I can say that customer perspective. Okay. So internet connectivity definitely should be there, and operating system is all operating system it is going to support. Okay. This is what the requirements. So first of all, what is a Go? Go is a open source. So someone asked a question: is it a licensed or open source? So I think you get an answer. So most of your questions are just you need to wait some time. All your questions, because I prepared this particular content as such. If I am at a beginning stage of Google Go language, what sort of questions I am going to get, all these questions definitely will be there in this particular session. Most of 90% of your questions, what is there in your mind, definitely it will be answerable, or definitely that information is available in this particular workshop. So you need to just wait for a little time. uh, Go is a open source programming language. This is developed by Google. And what are the factors I told just now, right? What are the factors told I just now? easy to use, correct, right? Easy to use, it's a simple, reliable. What is reliability? It should be up and running every time. There is no downtime. It should be up and run every time. That is what I need, right? It should be simple, it should be reliable, and it should be efficient. The three factors just now I told in YouTube, right? The three factors are matching right here. It should be very simple, it should be reliable, and it should be efficiency means performance. That is what performance, right? So all these three features, what I am really looking, not I am looking, a customer is looking, right? These are available in Go. And to start with that, sir, this particular session, don't think that I'm recommending you to only with Go. I can say that all the languages, all the programming languages are available in today, like Java, Python, Ruby, Go, Node.js, Angular. All these are powerful frameworks, I can say that. But every language set of advantages and disadvantages. So based on our product which we are releasing, based on our requirement, it's our responsibility to choose the respective technology stack. I can say that I need to choose my respective technology. That is what my primary responsibility. That means I should know what Google is offering. I should know what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. I should know. That's where this workshop is going to help you. So these are the facts which Go language. It is going to have general purpose programming language. It's a free source and it is created by Google. There are three persons are there. It's Robert and Pike and Ken Thompson. They started in 2007. I think it's almost 13 years back, and they released in 2009. Okay, and Indian market, Indian market, it came in 2018. To the Indian market, it came in 2018 and 2019. Few companies are few Indian companies started adoption. That's what we are not able to hear this particular word. Okay, it's something like C syntax. Just I'm giving a high level view overview. It's something like C syntax. It is a partially object oriented. It's a partially object oriented. I don't want to use encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, dynamic loading, static loading. All those things. Lot of options are not there in Go. That's what I can say. That simple. Okay, and it's a compiled, but the compilation means statically linked. Now I'll explain that in soon. I'll explain that. And garbage collected. So every programming is a garbage collected, but this also. But there are some advantages are there. That's what I'm going to cover. Uh, Built-in concurrency, and one important thing is, do you saw any framework or any language which has only 25 keywords? Our English alphabets are 26, right? A to Z. But this Google is having 25 keywords. So it's easy, right? Goa is having, sorry, Java is having how many, sir? Almost 100 plus. So this is what greatest advantage here. These are the facts. And build. It will take few milliseconds. If I want to build my application, few milliseconds it's going to consider. Okay, and it will work with all operating systems. It will work with all kind of processors, AMD, i386, ARM, 64-bit, 32-bit, all operating system. It does not have any kind of uh, relaxation that I can work with only this. It does not have any restrictions. Cross compilations. That means I'm going to explain that. There is a standard library, and one important thing is no exceptions, no errors, no exceptions. Is it a good or bad? This framework does not have exception handling. It's a, some people will get that good, or some people will think bad. But one bad thing, it's my personal perception. Okay, pointers. It is having pointers. So maybe the people who studied their graduation or a post graduation like BTech or MTech or whatever the professional IT courses, maybe they are encouraged to this, they just started their career because they're having an academic career with the pointers, so these pointers are there. So but a person like me who is having working on a 12 years and working on pointers, definitely I can think of it's a kind of bad, but that's what this framework. Okay, so the top 10 reasons I told why Go language. Okay, first think factor, I mean there is some reasons are there, but at a high level factors are, it compiles very quickly. Sir, is compilation is important for me? Why are you telling that particular word again and again? Is compilation is really quick for me? Is it important for me? Yes, it's important. Why it is important? I will take an example, like Amazon. Okay, fine, Amazon first. Forget about Amazon. Like Google search, I can simply tell that Google search. Do you think Google search is a already built-in framework? It is developed a long back and no bugs are like, and it is already proven framework and there should be no bugs. Do you think that? If I understand latest statistics from Gartner survey, is a Gartner is a one more guy. Most of people might aware he is a kind of survey. He will do surveys like our Indian politics, right? There will be surveys will be there, right? When elections comes, the surveys, right? In the similar way, Gartner is a guy who always conduct surveys, especially in IT world. Google search engine is a only one search engine which executes 2 million test cases per second. In 1 second, in 1 second, 2 million test cases it will execute. Do you know that? But this is what it is. Means a Google developer, a developer who is working on Google search identified a particular bug or a error. Okay, and if he fixes easy, but if at all if you want to verify his fix, he need to search what kind of searches are there in Google. All things I can search, right? He need to verify all searches, like 2 million test cases will be there for me to verify a particular defect in Google. Means I should compile, I should verify. That is what all the frameworks today are not having this much of flexibility. Compilation. Do you know how much time Java will take? But I have a statistics, I will tell. Okay, if I want to build the latest is Spring Boot with respect to Java world, I can consider it's a revolutionary framework for web applications. And if I am using a latest stack, like I can say that microservices with a gateway proxying, and I can consider that Eureka registry, all those things are concerned. If I want to build and if I want to compile my application, almost it will take 20 to 30 minutes. That if I use a efficient hardware, Google, it will do in fraction of milliseconds, or I can say seconds. Okay, but there is a small time it's going to take. Python, I'm not really well versed on that particular, because this web framework, how much time it takes. But as per the internet surveys, I came to know that it is going to take 10 to 12 minutes. A big application is going to concern. So this is one of the framework where compilation time is very small, very small. Who uses Go language? As I told, in 2019 only it came to Indian market. Means Indian companies, I can say that. Indian products, I can say that. IT products which are developed in India, it's 2019. But these are the things, these are the companies, or these are the frameworks which are using Go language. Okay, so if you say Docker, and a lot of people will surprise, yes, Docker is a framework, right? But Docker is developed on Google language. Docker is developed on Google language. A Docker framework, and YouTube and Amazon. but not entire Amazon is developed on Google. As per my knowledge on the Amazon architecture, I worked some time there, so I know the architecture. So very some layer is built on Google. Yep. So these are the big lot of things are there, but these are the top brands. I can say that who are using Google language as their programming language. Okay. Yep. Everyone is aware that. Okay. But what exactly multi-core means? The processor and the internal processing, all those things will matters. Okay. So today most of the programming languages like Java, C, C++, Python, Ruby, all preferred or all will run, maximum framework will run on multi-core. If you say Java, slowly they are decommissioning 32-bit, and not now but next year. Already there is a plan, Oracle is recommending that. Okay, they are stopping their JDK in 32-bit. That is, currently it is supported, but slowly it is going to remove. So because if they keep a restriction, you should work on multi-core, the programming will work on multi-core, then only processing speed will be high. That is what their internal thoughts. So I mean, if I take any language, it requires a multi-core processing system. Okay. And network systems, what is the network systems is, for example, I can say that one data center is in Delhi, another data center is in Mumbai, another data center is in Calcutta. Like that architecture I need, because disaster recovery, that is what people will think, right? Disaster recovery means if one zone is down and my other zone should pick the load and should provide highly available system. Correct, right? So if my for example, my application is only in Hyderabad. Okay, somehow Hyderabad is having power problem, and entire one day there is no power for Hyderabad, then the customers who are using my application definitely in problem, right? So I want a network systems, that means it should be having a high available feature, like I can say that multiple data centers with multiple places. So that is what I need. That is currently challenging for setting up that particular environment with respect to current programming languages. And clustered environment, what is a clustered environment? uh, Clustered environment means everyone knows that, especially Java guys, MVC framework, right? Model, view, and controller. That is a clustered environment, right? That means all my entire code, model code and view code and controller code, I will not write in one particular in one particular environment or on one particular node, or I can say that one particular runtime. Maybe one runtime I cannot write my all code. What I will do, sir, I will separate, that is separation of concerns, that is a front end layer in one particular environment or one particular box, box in the sense, I can say that there is a techie, I mean box is nothing but one environment, a Windows box or laptop you can consider. As of now you can consider laptop. In one laptop I will take a UI framework, UI logic, I mean maybe front end code. In one laptop I will write controller and middleware logic. In one laptop I will take a DAL, I mean a data access layer, DAO layer. In one laptop I can take database. That is what a multi-core processing system, right? Instead of instead of having one load, the load is accepted by one laptop, I'll share the load among four persons or four laptops or four boxes. If I want to achieve that particular architecture, then I need to add some kind of I can say that maybe I need to add a new framework again to the existing framework, which is nothing but load balancing. So which will maintain the session sharing and all those things. Advanced concepts I'm not going to talk, because a lot of people I'm seeing from the chat windows are beginners. So if I talk in advanced topics, definitely they will disconnect. That's what I can say. So maybe please don't the persons who are experienced persons don't feel bad. I'm teaching basics here. because a lot of people I'm seeing from the questions, a lot of people are new. That's what I can say that. Okay, so if I want to, my application should be distributed environment. That means distributed means a front end is in one laptop, a middleware is in another laptop, or a back end is in another laptop, something. If I want to achieve, then I need to add some other code to distribute to support the distributed environment, that is called as a computational clusters. Okay, and a web programming model. So web programming model is, if you take a real world scenario, currently previous technologies, I'm taking an example of Spring MVC, right? Spring model, Spring View, and Spring Controller. That is entire my web programming is in one technology or one stack. I can say that, but it is not selling nowadays. Now it is most of the people are moving out from Spring MVC because the only reason is performance. And a new programming web programming model is defining nowadays. I want the best. I want the best in UI side. I want the best in controller side. I want the best in middleware service. I want the best in database side. I will choose my own language, my own framework, my own technology, and it should be integrating with all these kind of clusters. A new programming model, if I want to define, it is not possible with the current programming languages, but not most of the things. Slowly, each and every programming languages like Spring Boot is added recently, but every programming language is also coming with this technology. If you take the current web programming model is considering Node.js or React.js or AngularJS, any of these three as a front end, and Spring Boot or Python as a middleware, MongoDB or a NoSQL DB or a Kafka as a database. This is what the current technology trend. Web programming model, they are defining a new structure. I don't want all in one kind of a technology stack. I want to consider one programming language. I want the best in that. If you say UI layer, Angular or React or Node.js, they completely revamped and they made a front end framework is very powerful. If you see Angular 9, lot of new features came. Completely rewrote their DOM processing, the front end UI processing they rewritten, right? So that is where I'm going to consider new programming model is defining. And other thing is thousands of programmers, correct, right? If you take a Java application, big application like Amazon retail, if you take Amazon retail application, can you count of how many programmers are working on Amazon retail? It's difficult to understand. It is difficult to guess. It's almost 2 lakhs programmers are working on Amazon retail project across the globe, not in India, across the globe. 2 lakhs developers. I mean, developers in the sense, sorry to that. 2,000 employees are 2 lakhs employees are working. That means a developer or a tester, the business analysts, all key stakeholders. 2 lakhs persons are in one project. That is what my current. Is it a good or bad? It's a good for the people, bad for the company. That's what I can say. So I cannot comment on this here. Okay, because definitely if more people are there, more coordination, more bugs, a lot of things are there. Okay, and everyone is using same code base, correct, right? And scale of development, definitely someone will go with different scales, I can say that. So this is what my environmental issues. Okay, and this is environment perspective, and I'm talking about language perspective. Language features are complex, correct, right? If you take Java, how many concepts for only learning core Java, I require 2 to 3 months. If I want core Java and advanced Java perfectly, if I want to learn, it will admit like 4 to 5 months. Python minimum 1 or 2 months. So I mean, I can say that complex features are there, and garbage collection is not efficiently handled, and concurrency is not supported. and compilation process and dependency management. So this is the other factor. Dependency management is the other example I can consider. What exactly a dependency management? Dependency management is a new keyword in Spring. It is introduced, okay, which is solving the lot of issues for developers. Okay, but I'm going to talk a little bit later, not now. Okay, because I want to come into real topic here. Okay, so the especially Go is mainly is solving the problem of scaling. This is what I can say that it's a scaling problem. It is mainly resolving. Go is an answer to all the problems of scale at Google. I can say that at scaling, vertical scale, all those things here achieved. Okay, so if you take scalability and no language is the best and open source release, these are the three factors are Go creation part. These are the three factors are there with the Go creation part. So problem with scalability and no language is the best as of now compared to Go and open source release. Okay, and this is important factor USP, that is how I can measure Go. As per Stack Overflow, you know this particular website, highest paying programming language, highest pay. This is an interesting factor. Okay, very few people are there today in IT world are knowing Go. It is the highest pay. I don't want to comment on the numbers. I don't want to talk on the numbers, but I can say that this is the highest paid language. Okay, and a lot of big customers, may big gains are using Go language, and almost it is trying to create everything. So recently, especially last year, only last year in 2019, Uber microservices, Apple, one kind of application like Apple, especially in US industry, if any new feature comes in Apple, they will use a pre-sales. So they will use this application for pre-sales. Okay, in that particular application they used Go, Docker, and Netflix. Netflix also started after YouTube is famous. The next is Netflix and Adobe. This case of server handling. This is the in 2019. These are the top companies started using their programming language as Go. Okay, and Go language does not have all these things: inheritance, constructors, exceptions, annotations, templates, arrays. Is it a good or bad? I don't know. But Go does not have anything. Whatever the concepts I mentioned in the slide, it does not have header files. It does not have. I cannot write any classes. Employee.java, product.java, customer.java. All those things are not there. Inheritance. I don't need to use inheritance. Templates, arrays, annotations, auto void, all these annotations are at the rate service, at the rate repository, at the rate of all those things are not there. Exceptions, checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions, compilation time exception, runtime exceptions, all those are not there. Okay, Go is going to have, especially at a high level, routines. This is mainly for concurrency, packages, statically typed. What exactly Go is famous because this is a feature. A statically typed language is nothing but Go. Okay, what is statically typing means? I am declaring a variable. Okay, by default, the memory allocation and deallocation in few frameworks it is at runtime. The objects which you give, the scope you give, and the memory allocation and the data which you give, that will be dynamically allocated. But here statically typing means at compilation time only memory allocation and compilation is going to happen, so that runtime no need of any kind of memory management at runtime. That is what compilation is fast, because no runtime activity. That is a one of the key factor of a statically typed language. Okay. Yep. Now finally I'm going to say what exactly the comparisons between the framework which how Go is used is in Java. Though I'm using or not, I will use lot of import statements. But in Go, if I write any line which is not using in the current program, it will give error. I mean, it will give the program will not run, or program will not compile. Always it will make sure that right set of code is being used. And the dependency graph, I mean, what are the dependencies I have, it should be very minimal. The management, the data and the structure, all those should be very minimal. The memory management is efficiently handled by having whatever the data which require in that particular page. Like for example, I open Amazon page, a product page, only product load data will be loaded on the memory. If I'm opening payment page, only that particular memory will be loaded on the memory. Okay, always it will load what is required in that particular environment, rather than loading the entire session data. I can say that if my session object is very high, rather than loading the entire session data, it will load the session related information only belonging to that particular feature. I'm sorry, belonging to that particular module which currently user is accessing. That is dynamic memory management. This is what the important factors Go is achieving. So if you say 40 times it's faster compilation time than C++. Till now, before Go language, C++ is very fast in compilation, but it is 40 times faster. Okay, and this is what uh, you can see. It is taking the greatest benefits of all programming languages. If you take C, simple structure. If you take Java, if you talk Python or Ruby, and if you take any other Limbo or any other things, so Go is contributing all features which are available in the latest frameworks. What features they have provided, it is embedding all those features into its programming language, where if I choose this, I no need to worry about all other frameworks. It is a one set of framework, it is readily available for everyone. So that is, I can say that. Okay, so I can say that this is the one magic quadrant: beautiful and straight code, efficiency and concurrency. So if you take JS, Perl, Python, Ruby, all are efficient. C, C++, Java is more efficient. Beautiful code, C Sharp, Erlang, and the finally Go, which is beautiful and a straight code and efficient and concurrent. This is what a magic quadrant with respect to all programming languages. If you take Stack Overflow survey, I mean, what is the Stack Overflow is? The people who are searching on Go language. This is Stack Overflow developed by recently with the Indian market. People are using 8% of searches on Go. Okay, and these are the guys who created Go. We don't know what we don't care about what the photos is, but these are the three guys who are the founders of Go. Okay, and this is what we are going to see in your Go language: pre-compiled, garbage collected, our own runtime. It's a simple syntax, great standard library. It's a cross-platform, object-oriented but without inheritance, and dependency management, and multiple return values and pointers. These are things I explained. Okay, So I will talk differences at a later point. I can say this is a top 10 reasons. One question is asked by someone, why I need to choose Go. This is what the top 10 reasons. I'm going to take not much time here, only 10 to 15 minutes I'm going to spend here. Okay. So top 10 reasons why I should choose a Go framework. This is what I'm going to cover. Okay. Syntax. It's very easy. The first reason is very easy syntax. Simple, easily learning curve, little code I need to write. Very, very little code. Not like tons of code, thousands of code, 1,000 lines of code, or 10,000 lines of code. I no need to write here. Few keywords. That's when only 25 keywords are there, less than my number of alphabets in English language, and multiple written values. As of now, any programming language, a function can return a single value, but here it is written in such a way that it can return multiple values. Okay, and no macros, no exceptions, no templates, no overloading, no overriding, no warnings. All these things are not there. So for a developer, it's very easy because syntax is very easy. I think the one who asked a question for me, what is the main benefit of Go usage? 10 reasons I'm taking. This is the 10 reasons. Okay. If you see, this is a Hello World program. This is the Hello World program. Package. Java also have packages, right? Imports, something like that. Function, main. I'm using println. System.out.println is Java, but I'm going to print Hello World. Simple. Instead of having writing a Java code and compiling to Java, right? Function fmt.println. This is nothing but Hello World, right? So one point I can say that here I'm going to explain here. There is a Go playground, like cricket playground is there, right? Here also Go playground is there for me. I don't know how to install Go. I don't know how to do that Go, but I want to play with the Go. So it is giving a framework for me like a playground. Now I'll explain that. Maybe you will feel okay. By default, it is giving me a Hello World program, and if you click on format, it's already formatted. For example, I am writing a different way. I am writing something like this. Okay, is it a readable? No, right? Now I'll make format. Now is it readable? Yes. Sir, in Java also Control Shift F. If I give, it will be good readability, right? Yep, something like that. But this is a good way of formatting. Now I can run something hello playground, and if I take hello narrating, something like that. Yes, this is a simple hello world program. How easy it is. Do you see any complexity here? I mean, I don't want. I'm using an import. I'm using a function fmt is a built-in function which is having a method println fmt dot println, which is nothing but whatever is there I'm going to print. Okay. So this is a URL play.golang.org. Maybe I'll open again. If you type play.golang.org, so those who are connected to net, you can type this. I'm going to this is a URL I'm typing in the chat window. Who are connected to net, you can try. Okay. So by default, it is giving me a default program. Okay. And we can format also. Yes, if at all, if you write a code in such a way that which is not readable, right? Now what I will do is I'm going to format this particular code, right? And I'm going to run. This is what easy. It's a playground for me. I can learn Go here. For example, one option I'm writing here, just like to why Go. Okay, I want one question from everyone. If I want to create web application, if I want to create a web application, any framework you take, a simple web application, just hello world, I can say that a simple web application. I'm giving a laptop for you, no environment, nothing will be there. It is having only internet, correct? I can write that particular web application in Go in couple of minutes. I think 5 minutes I'll take. I can write a web application easily. That means my HTTP protocol, my HTTP is an inbuilt module. I'm going to explain this particular code as after some time. Okay. If I know how to write Go code, it's a complex, right? If I want to create a web application, first of all, I need to install Eclipse. I need to install Tomcat, or I need to install WebLogic. I need to install runtime. I need to install Java, JDK, JRE, and I need to set a class path. I need to add that particular Tomcat to my Eclipse. Lot of steps. Correct, right? Do you agree or not? Right here, please don't see the code. This is what I only workshop where I am explaining the features of Go. Correct, right? And this is a Go program I wrote. I have just Go compiler, just like I have a Go compiler here, and I'm going to write my Go program just now, whatever the program I wrote here, and it's going to take a bit while because it's a web service. Okay. Oh, it's my company allow access because external applications, it's taking some firewall. Okay, done. My program is done. How much time it takes this particular code? HTTP localhost 8080 slash Naresh IT. This is what I wrote in Go. Whatever you give in that, I will hello, whatever the string I am going to take. For example, I am taking Go language workshop. Hello, Go language workshop. So if I install Go, whatever the code I wrote here, I compiled. This is the code I compiled, and I run this particular program with some Go command. Okay. I don't want to go into the details actually, but you see how simply I developed a web application. Do you see any complex code? I am telling, please include HTTP module and bind that particular HTTP module with 8080 port, and hello, whatever in the URL you gave, that URL, that's it. Is it a simple syntax, right? I mean, it's for you new guys, it's a new, that's what you need to understand. But here, for the guys, if I want to create a web application, correct, right? If I want to create a web application, it's very easy for me. It's almost very easy for me. I can write simply with a small time. I can create that application on the fly. And if you want to create a microservices with a ORM framework, development time always it decreases. Compilation time it decreases. Runtime it will take its own. I no need to supply Tomcat. I no need to give anything. Did I install Tomcat here? Nothing. Sir, you can also try, but by default, HTTP is stopped on the playground. Playground is mainly for a standalone, but HTTP is stopped in the playground. So we need to install Go. It's a very I'll talk about the installation. It's very simple installation. After that, this is the code I wrote. Okay, and I compiled this particular code. Go. Some commands I used. Only one command. Go run webservice.go. This is the command I used. Go run webservice.go. Here, this is the code I wrote in webservice.go. Maybe I'll show here. This is the code I wrote in webservice.go. Whatever the code I am showing there, this is the code I wrote there. I think you're able to see my screens right clearly. Okay, so this is the code I'm going to see, and this is the code I wrote. And go run webservice.go. I hit it. I pressed enter. Then I am able to open localhost 8080. Sir, it's not a Spring Boot, sir. I already have a Spring Boot in my local. That's what this particular icon is coming. This is a by default. It is a domain. I mean, it is taking that particular Spring Boot. It's not a Spring Boot. I didn't use any of Eclipse. I didn't use anything. And you can also try if you have Go. But this is what a play. And if you whatever I gave here, it will come here. For example, if I want to type Naveen, this is hello Naveen. So this is a framework feature. So the first factor is everyone is clear right here. And I will stop this. Okay. Now you try. Just like some people are telling, sir is internally rendering Spring Boot or anything, and he's showing. So I stopped this, and it stopped. If you run this, just like I'm showing, whatever I'm running is Go only. Just like I want to prove myself, I'm not running any web. So just I want to show you here. Yeah, it's because it's a complete laptop. It is a lot of firewalls are there, so I need to take care of that. But in your laptop, these things will not come. Okay. Now you see it's up. It's came. It's a Go. Correct. And if I stop this, my local host will be stopped. You understand how much simple it is? Do you agree with the first point? Whatever I shown, right? So whatever I shown till now is mainly with respect to hello world. It's a very simple. Do you agree with that first point? The syntax is very easy. Maybe I'll take loop variables and looping. Correct, right? I'm going to I'm going to explain the concepts here. Just I'm explaining the top 10 reasons why you need to choose Go. That is what I'm explaining here. A comma B, that is equal to 1 and 2. I didn't declare it is integer or float or short int, tiny int. I didn't declare anything. You see how much simple it is. A comma B is equal to 1 comma 2. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2. Print A plus B, percentage D. I'll explain that all those things, okay? And I'm looping that for A less than is equal 100, A plus plus. I need to print this. Very simple code, right? Is it having any complex here? Variables, loopings, all those things. No declarations, nothing. Very simple. I can learn, I can type. This is what the first factor Go I need to use, because it's very simple to learn. Okay. And this is the function. If I want to use function, already math is available for me, but I am writing a function square. I am taking integer. If any integer, it is giving I into I. So for all 100 values, it is giving. Now here I want to explain some concurrency here. Just at a high level, I'm explaining concurrency. A lot of people are asking a question for me. What is concurrency and what are you talking about concurrency here? That is what you people are asking me. If you observe this particular program, I want to print square of each and every number starting from 0 to 100. Correct, right? I want to print the square of each and every number from starting 0 to 100. In Java, in Python, or any language you take, it's a single process, a single thread will take. Unless you write this separately, like executor framework or any framework you take, or you need to add parallelly. Hey, thread 1, take 1 to 10 numbers and you do square of that. Hey, thread 2, take 20 to 30 and you take those numbers. I am splitting these 100 numbers into 10 chunks, and I am telling to execute by 10 threads, so that if at all it's taking 1 minute, and I can achieve that in few seconds. That is what a parallel processing, as you mentioned. Okay. Now I'm not mentioning any parallel processing here. I am writing this code, and Go is intelligent. It will internally achieve this particular program using concurrency, right? So what it will use is routines. It will use routines and channels. I'm talking about a framework related. You don't need to worry on that. I'm just comparing each and every Go keyword with what exactly will come here in this particular topic. Okay. If I write a program, it is creating a routine for this. Oh, this is what a programmer needs. He needs square of each and every number. He needs a square of each and every number. What it will do is it will create channels like threads. I mean to say in my traditional programming, but lot of difference. I don't consider that channel as a thread here, but at least as of now, you can think of thread is almost a channel. Okay, now it will divide this particular section into different parallel concurrency, and it will consolidate the result, and it will give. So I am going to have further. Okay, there are three problems in today, not in IT world. There are three complex algorithms. There are three complex algorithms till now in today day-to-day world. And if I write the code in Python or in Java or in Ruby or in Go, what exactly the variations I'm going to showcase? I have that particular information I'm going to showcase. How it is achieving is because of routines and concurrency is there with Go, which internally taking care of this particular perspective or this particular framework. Next is the reason one is a syntax and reason two is compiler speed. This is a very good, interesting factor, sir. The whole SDK, the entire SDK, entire Google SDK will be compiled in 90 seconds. 19 seconds it will compile. I mean, if I'm taking all Go features, all features of Go, if I'm working on all features of Go, but only B, it will take few seconds. Assuming I'm writing 370 KLOC, what is that? 370 lines of code. That means 370,000 lines of code, almost 3 lakhs code. Okay, it will compile in couple of seconds. In my own project, what are the project I am writing? 5,000 lines of code is there. It will take 0.1 second. This is what why you need to choose Go. Okay, how it is achieving? It's a compiler friendly syntax. Language is very small. Unused imports are not allowed. Circular imports are also. So some of the background statistics, how it is achieved. This particular compilation process. That is what my reason two. I guess you are able to follow. Sir, I am mixing this particular topic in such a way that some theory, some hands-on, and making sure that everyone is effective to that particular presentation. Okay, fine. The next is execution speed. Go is very fast, but slower than C++. There is one more interesting important point. Slower than usually C++, especially if you are working on C++. Okay, I don't know. Still, people are using C. You may get it out. Still, people are using C++. Yes, a lot of people are using C++. Okay, but the execution is very speed. And the first framework on execution is C++, then Java. Sorry, then Go. Okay, but a very small comparison, and it's a very fast, about 10 times faster than Python, 100 times faster than Ruby, and always it is having compiler. It's a machine code compilers. That means if I compile in one operating system, in Windows operating system, I can execute that in any operating system. Okay, but log not like Java. Java means the Java framework is having different compilers, different jars and everything. But here it's a machine independent. That's one of the best feature. Okay. Yep. I don't want to compare this. The next is ecosystem. Go get like a pip gem. You know that, right? So I need all these things. In Go, I have all the things are there. It's a built good ecosystem I can take care of. Okay. And I can write any repository, and I can take my own namespace. I can automate, and automatically testing automation is also there. So I can use my repo as a search engines and friendly and useful community. The entire ecosystem is very good. Okay. For example, if I want to use a person wrote a particular code, in some GitHub it is there. Okay, maybe he wrote some logging aspect like log4j we are using right in Java. So like that, I can import that particular package. I can import any of the code and I can use directly that particular feature. What it will go? Go will go to that particular but only it supports GitHub, sir. It won't support any other repositories. GitHub it is going to support because a lot of people are using GitHub nowadays, right? And morely GitHub is also internally Go. Okay, and all just like I'm using this particular function logging info and logging critical. This is what I can use. I mean, if at all log4j is how we used in Java, the similar example. Okay, and simple conventions. Conventions means your method name should be small letter, your class name should be capital letter, property name should be camel case, and your Pojo should be having getters and setters, and you should implement toString method. You should always use a naming conventions in, but here no naming conventions. Convention over configurations. So I need to use only convention on a configuration side. So like any name I can use, anything I can use, just like anything. If I have, for example, I wrote some code, hello world code, and I can test using hello world underscore test.go. By default, test framework is also created. Whatever the program name you have, underscore test, that means it will test automatically for you. So this is a very good simple convention. I don't want to go there. Okay, next one is whatever I told, concurrency, just now I mentioned, right? So Go routines and channels are the heart of Go. This is the main important feature which is not available in any of the framework or any of the language, that is concurrency. Okay, so it is having a micro threads with an internal schedulers. Micro threads means channels. Okay, you can run 10,000 routines, 10,000 threads you can use. Can you use in Java 10,000 threads on my laptop, on a regular laptop? You cannot use. That is where Go is officially. You can run 10,000s of routines. Means I can create on my own, but based on my program complexity, Go is explaining me. Go is telling me to create. It is can create up to 10,000 routines. Okay, so this is what I have concurrency and channels. So what exactly channel is? So I am dividing the task by individual chunks. And for example, in the previous program, I told, right, I want to print 100 numbers, square of each number. So each and every information going to channel, and it's going to be delegates. So this is a concept is there. Maybe I'll cover in my basics what all those things I'm going. But high level, on a nutshell, Go is having concurrency with channels and routines. Concurrency is nothing but, I'll repeat again, concurrency is nothing but manually executing the program, dividing that program in chunks automatically by the framework, automatically establishing the connection or establishing the relation between these chunks. Hey, thread 1, you took 1 to 10 numbers, give me your output. Hey, thread 2, you have taken thread 2 to thread 20, give me your output. Consolidating the output, that is where channel. And the procedure to maintain this particular synchronization is routines. These are the technical keywords of Go. This is one of the important feature of Go. If you ask anyone, hey, you attend a workshop, what Go is giving me, tell me, man, what is not there in my Python, what is not there in my Java, what is not there in my Angular or something? One word you can say, I attended 3 hours, but I didn't know, I didn't understand anything. Please don't tell me like, okay, one word. Go is giving concurrency. What is concurrency? Hey, in your code you need to add, if at all, if you want to a big program, if you want to improve a performance, you need to add a multi-processing code, but Go will take care automatically. That is called as concurrency. It will internally divide your code into bits and pieces. Internally it will create a schedulers, internally it will create a threads, internally it will delegate the tasks, and internally it will maintain the routines. All this is nothing but concurrency and channels and routines. Are you clear on this one aspect? This is one and the other point is compilation is very fast. And the other point is syntaxes are very easy. easy to learn. These are the few things just now I mentioned. I hope everyone is clear on this aspect. Okay. I'm going to discuss about that. Next one is a standard library. Very standard library I'm going to have. Okay. Uh, More like Pythons than C++. So what Python is standard library similar way. Okay. Very well documentation is available. So great source of communication on the internet. Okay. So if you have the good experience on web applications, you can learn. That is what this particular standard library. So it is internally using the standard libraries for HTTP web server. Just now I shown example, right? HTTP web server. Did I install any kind of runtime? No need, right? It internally includes and compression, encryption, decryption. If at all, if security is asking, right, it is internally having, and you want JSON format, XML format, CSV format. I'll support that. Profiling, debugging, reflection, image manipulation, usual suspects. So the only thing is GUI toolkit. Something, if at all, if you want to build your own GUI, that I mean, you need to. There is no default GUI is available. You need to create your own GUI. That is only one drawback. But no framework is providing. This is what the standard library I'm going to get. So I no need to write a code for installing HTTP web server. I need to write no need to write a code of JSON and XML CSV. I no need to write a code for encryption and decryption. I no need to write a code for compression, profiling. What is the profiling? Profiling is a concept. Okay. For example, I wrote 1,000 lines of code. Okay. I wrote 1,000 lines of code in Java or any kind language. Okay. In each and every line, how much memory it is consuming, I can verify that using profiling. And reflection. What is a reflection means? By default, which package I'm taking, that package only will come into memory, and other packages will not into come into memory. And if you want to image manipulation, this is the best framework. Maybe you know or don't know on this. There is a new app came by Google. Okay. There is a new app came by Google. The app name is language translation, some kind of app. Okay. For example, you went to some place and there you see a board which is written in another native language. For example, I'm a Telugu guy. I'm going to Chennai. I'm seeing there is a Tamil language. I don't know, and I want to see the content. Is it possible in any language? Image manipulation. Google is giving language translator. You keep your smartphone, you place the phone near that particular image. The app, I mean, if you keep your app near to the particular image, and it will translate to English. As of now, English is the common language. They think that because everyone knows English, and that will translate from Tamil to English. That is called as image manipulation. It is already having a standard library. This is what artificial intelligence currently it is being in market. But as of now, the inbuilt support of AI is not there with Go, but one of the image manipulation code. So I can read an image, I can write, I can do for some functionality on an image perspective. That is what a standard library. And it is also including C internally and JV, all internally C libraries, Java libraries, Python libraries, and all the flexibilities are near there. So it's not a new language. And implicit interfaces. That means I can write my own I can write a default interface where, for example, I'm going to implementing an interface means no declaration is required. I know to declare interface. I can directly use a. I mean, I'm going to explain this at a little bit time. And finally, is a good fun to work. Finally, this is a way. It's a fun, not a procrastinations here. It's a good place to work. This is what a 10 things I can consider that it's a language. Go why 10 things means these are the 10 factors. Okay, just I will repeat for only I will not take much time because you should understand these critical features. Okay, the first feature is syntax is very easy for me. Go language syntax is very useful for me, and compilation is very fast, and execution speed is very fast. And Go is having a good ecosystem where I can develop all frameworks, all languages, all products. and it's a simple programming conventions, and I can achieve automatically concurrency with the use of channels, with the use of routines, and it is having a standard library. I cannot import any, I don't need to import any other library. All features, all standard libraries are available, and it's well documented, and all it is mix of all programming languages like C, C++, Python, and Java. This is what eighth reason. And I'm going to have a new interfaces. I mean, it's internally having some interfaces, but no interface. I mean, it's easily off. I can create abstract methods. That's I can say that. Okay, and it's a fun to interact with the Go. This is what uh, Go language introduction. Okay, yeah. Any questions so far I've seen? Okay, so this is I'm going to start a new topic here. The only difference is I'm going to define Python versus Go versus C, C++. Python, easy to use but slow. Java, it's a complex system. C, C++, complex and slow compilation. These are the three I can use of. Python, the first easy to use but slow. Java, it's a complex and easily type system. And I can think of a complex system but slow compilation. Finally, all these three concurrency patched, that is nothing but Go language. So this is a symbol of a Go. Okay, right? Yep. And I'm going to take care of, just now I explained a playground. Okay, now what Docker, I can, Docker is also implemented in Go. What Go is done with the Docker is, I no need to build a Docker machine, I no need to build a Docker file. By default, if I write my Go file, it will internally having a Docker image. I can directly compile, I can directly create Dockers. So people who are new to Dockers, right, why Docker and all those things, a little bit explanation I'll give, a couple of minutes I will take. Okay, the challenge here is with Docker is mainly, okay, why I need to use mainly with respect to Docker. This is what I'm going to talk. Okay, for example, I created my project in Windows environment, and this project requires, my current project requires a Windows environment, and my current project requires Tom WebLogic. If I want my project to be up to be running, I need WebLogic, and I'm going to use Oracle, and I'm having JRE and JDK, comma, in-memory database, and some lot of extra 10 other features I need. This is what my complex system, and I will develop this project. Okay, now my customer, if I want to use this particular product, and he need to install Oracle, he need to install JRE, all these features, and customer is telling, sir, your architecture is very big. If I want to install all these step by step, I'll take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You do one thing, you give me one installer, it will install the all prerequisites of your application along with your project, and it should run automatically. So give me one file, customer will tell that, please give me one file, and with that particular file I want to execute your code, I mean your project. So I will install the file. If I type www.project.com, your file, your project should be up and running. That is what customer is expectation. I don't want to install Oracle, I don't want to install JRE, I don't want to install JDK. So give me one file, I will click that particular file. It should install all your code, all your prerequisites, all your runtimes, all your dependencies, all your language features, and it should make container should be up. And once I click that, if I type www.product.com, it should come. That is what the customer expectation. So for that, we can use Dockers, and that Docker file will work on all operating systems. I can work on Windows, I can work on Mac, I can work on AX, I can work on any other operating systems. Its file will be same, and I can give one file. It will be all operating system can access that particular file, and it will easily installable. Okay, so Go is having automatic support for that, and Docker. Okay, guys, everyone is good here. Any questions here? Yes, no one is typing questions here. Great. So I am going to go into bit topics here, and there is a Kubernetes. Maybe you are aware of this Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes is the architecture where it will achieve scaling. So if my Docker, I mean, if my environment is having more load, it will keep automatically scaling. So this is what a high level architecture I can say that. So I will go deep dive into Go, sir. I will talk about Python versus Java versus all those things, because I there is a less time for me here. I want to go with the syntaxes here. I mean, just like Go, what is Go is having a lot of things I have here. Okay. So I compared a lot of things, sir, but I'm going to cover in tomorrow workshop at a high level. But today I'm going to explain the basics of Go. So Go, these are the keywords it is going to have, almost 25 keywords. That's what I told, right? These are the keywords I'm going to have in Go language. And in your programming, apart from these 25 keywords, you don't have any other keywords. Okay. So break, case, channel, constant, continue, default, defer, else, fall through. These are the, I mean, I have a lot of these things. Okay, but in your programming, apart from these 25 keywords, you will not use any other keyword. Okay, these are the Go keywords. Just I will go at a little bit introduction about Go language. Okay, now these are basic types: boolean, string, integer, right? Based on the size of the value you gave, it will automatically assigns whether int 8, 8 bits, 16 bits, 32 bits, 64 bits. So the data type will be designed automatically. Byte, rune, there's a new data type, float. So like this basic types are there. The memory allocation will be done by the programming language based on the values you give. It's a statically typed. That's what I mentioned. Okay. And packages, just like in our hello world program, right? We use package main, correct, right? That is nothing but every Go program is made of package. So something like if at all, if you go to any other uh, cases, right? If you go to insurance, sir, you'll have a package, sir. If you pay me 5,000 rupees per year, I will give you this much benefits. Or else why, if your training courses are there, right? uh, if you pay this much, I will give the entire programming language concepts. That's a package, correct, right? For example, I admitted to hospital, sir, ECG is this much charge, and doctor fees is this much, and tablets are this medication fee is this much. But why you need to worry, sir? I will give you a package, you pay this much, and everything you can avail. That is a package, you know, right? In the similar way, Go is having a package. What features I am writing in Go, that is available in the package. Okay, so that is nothing but every Go program is made up of package, and program starts with a package called as a main. Without package, I don't have a program. If you don't write a package, it will compile, it will it will not compile. So you need to write at least main package. That main package is which you need to import fmt as a base function, fmt as a base function, and println system dot out dot println, that is in Java, right? And this is what fmt, and I'm going to compare fmt dot println. This is a package. I'm just giving a basics of Go language, about the package structures, about the data types, about a small programming conventions which are used in Go. Are you clear here? Now defer. This is where a good topic here. In Java, I see thread.sleep. What does thread.sleep does, sir? For example, I am writing 10 lines of code. In third line, I am writing thread.sleep, right? What it will does, maybe I will explain that. There is a small difference here, defer as well as thread.sleep. Okay. So what I'm going here is, so I'm writing system.out.println 1, system.out.println 2, system.out.println 3, thread dot sleep of 10 seconds or 100 seconds. Now system.out.println, it's 4. What's the output I'm going to get if I write this particular code? First it will print 1 immediately, 2, 3. After some time, it will wait some time and it will print 4. Correct, right? So it will wait some time and it will write 4. That means what is sleep method here? Hey, please wait some time. Wait some time. Don't execute the fourth statement immediately. That is what thread.sleep in my Java. A similar but a different concept in defer method. Okay. What exactly defer method is doing is, can we see the program here? I'm writing a function main and I'm writing a statement counting down, and I'm writing certain code here, loop, for loop, for I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and I'm printing my I. This is what my statement. Please don't see the red color. What are there in red color? Don't see. That is new keywords for you. Function is a new keyword, defer is a new keyword, for loop is a new keyword. But the ones which are in white color you can easily understand. Correct, right? So I'm writing the code. Example, if I'm not using defer, if I'm not using defer here, so what going to happen? First it will come counting down and it will print done, immediately done it will print. Then it will print 1 2, I mean whatever the things. Okay, what done is what defer is doing is, please stop this execution. I mean printing the done statement execution, where let it execute the remaining part. That means please print first, then it execute. This is what defer. But is it useful, sir? Why are you explaining me this? Is it defer is that much useful? Hey, what is there? 1 2 3 4 5 6, I'm not printing. Is there a difference? Yes, in real time it is very very useful. For example, in real time scenario, you are you clear here, right? Defer, you are clear here, right? So what exactly defer means? Please execute some portion of the code, then only you consider this course, then only you consider this particular topic. Otherwise don't consider this particular topic. That is what defer. Okay, I'm telling a real time scenario here. Okay, what is my real time scenario is, sorry, what is my real time scenario is, I'm using a system called as payment gateway. Okay, this is a very example, beautiful example I can consider. Okay, assuming that you are working on a payment gateway and you are using Java or Python, I don't care what language you are using. And what is your functionality, sir? What is payment gateway? Fund transfer between two accounts. Correct, right? Fund transfer between two accounts. So what is your input? Account 1 comma account 2 comma money, how much you need to transfer. And what exactly I want is, first my logic, core logic is, deduct from account 1, right? Deduct the money from account 1. That is the first point, right? After that, add the money, or I can say that deposit money, deposit to account 2. Correct, right? Finally, you need to update account 1 balance and account 2, sorry, account 2 balance. This is what I need to update. Okay. For example, I am done with the step 1. My deduction is deduct from account 1 is done. Okay, it's done. And I need to wait before I update account 1 balance to customer. I don't want to update immediately account 1 balance to customer. I don't want to immediately update account 1 balance to customer. I want to defer this particular task. Okay, I want to defer this particular task until deposit to account 2. Deposit to account 2 is done. Till that particular point, till that particular time, I don't want to, till this execution done, I want to defer my balance. This is where I can use, or a transaction management I can use lot of, I mean, this is one of the feature I can tell. There is a differ functionality. I hope you are clear in this example. Yes. Am I getting questions here? Oh, sorry, I'm not seeing the questions. Yes. Okay, sir. Yeah, Sai Krishna in the previous program. Yep, 9876541. So it's a reverse printing. So I'll explain. It's a Go language principle. First, don't concentrate on the execution, sir. I'm just explaining the fundamentals in Go. That's what. Okay. It is trying from the execution cycle is different. Maybe you will see that. Okay. 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 Great. I almost. It is used in which platform? I didn't understand the question. Sir, please increase the time of the day of the workshop. I think 2 days are insufficient because we need to see more practicals too. Guys, if you are agree, please. Okay, fine. Fine. This is a suggestion. Yeah. Because workshop is almost maybe we can consider that. Okay, but here anything you take, sir, you need to learn the language because the guy who asked a beautiful question, right? Hey, why I'm getting a output in a reverse way? So first of all, you need to understand from workshop why I need to learn Go, what exactly the current frameworks are having a problem, and what is the background I need to learn Go, and what exactly can I learn this easily. So this sort of confidence you need to build. This workshop will help you. Correct, right? Does it make sense? This workshop will help you for the people. Okay, what is Go? What is the best benefit of the Go? Who are using this Go framework? What are the features are there? And is it simple to use or it's a complex? What it is exactly? And finally, what are the scenarios it is covering? So this is what a workshop, and so that that is a high level picture. But I'll agree your point. Definitely, it will need some more time and some more. Definitely, we'll consider that actually. Yes. Okay. So a lot of people are asking, can you send PPT, sir? Please don't think this is only a workshop. Okay, so I'll think of about PPT and all those things. Yeah. And one question, what languages you need to learn if you want to Go? No need to have any language. That's a prerequisite. I already told. No need of any languages. It's a Go is a new language. It's up to you, and you can learn easily without learning anything. It's a base. Okay. And lot of people are asking material. Lot of questions on material, sir. Please don't worry on material. Please concentrate on the functionality. Yes, a good question. What is the difference in memory management allocation than other languages? Okay. Yep, there's a question it is asked. Okay. So memory management, where other programming language to Go programming language is, it's statically typed. That means whatever the variables you declared, whatever the values you give, the respective memory, the respective memory will be allocated by the Go runtime, and it is managed by the runtime, managed by the Go. So you will not see any surprises in the out of memory exceptions. And can I, where can I get Go software and teaching classes? Okay, yeah, Go software is available in the internet. So I'm going to discuss that installation. I'm going to discuss that installation. So someone is asking me some kind of basics, so I'm teaching. So at the end of my class, I will teach where you can get a Go software and how to install Go software. I'm going to teach. Okay. Yeah. Any other question I missed here? Sorry. Maybe which is important, which I need to, difference between Node.js and Go web packages. Yes, sir. I thought of covering differences, but time is very less for me here, because I need, people are looking really Go. They don't. I mean, lot of questions I got from the webinar chat. Sir, please explain Go. Don't compare with other languages. That is what the, because maybe tomorrow I am going to cover Python versus Go, Java versus Go, Node.js versus Go. These three are going to compare tomorrow. First cover, I'm going to take these things. Then I'm explain about B framework, okay, and I'll explain about a HTTP framework, all those things. Okay, fine. Yes, today I'm giving a basics of, is Naresh Shetty going to start Go course? Yeah, will keep you posted, sir. uh, are you starting? Yeah, sir. Please, don't worry about the training and all those things. Okay, this is where the please consent and workshop. Definitely Naresh IT is the first institute in entire, I can say that, India is the first institute which always thinks about people, it always thinks about students, which always thinks about professionals. What is current latest framework, and how we can give best services. The one institute I can confidently say that is Naresh IT. I'm not marketing my Naresh IT, but this is one of the great institute in India, where this is the best framework which is provides a good real time learning environment. Whatever the new topics are there, it's responsibility to give the best material and the best knowledge to the people in a best efficient way. If you see lockdown, you know, there's only one institute currently running without any disturbances. And really hats off to the entire management. Sorry, I'm not marketing anyone here, but I'm telling the truth here. So please don't worry about what Naresh Shetty is going to start and all those things. You should focus on webinar. That's what my feeling. You will definitely, you will get an online course or offline course or a classroom course, or some by me or some by others. That is doesn't matter. Naresh Shetty responsibility is, definitely they will ensure that best faculty, best management, and best content it will deliver to with the best cost. I can assure that. Yep. Yes. Okay. Fine. And I'm going to have constants here. This is what one more Go is having a constants, something like that. In constant, I can take that as a, in constant x is equal to hello. In Go, I'm going to have const. Sunday is equal to 0, Monday 1, Tuesday 2, Wednesday, something like that. I can declare a constant, but I cannot change. So that is what a simply constant means. Okay. Now array. This is a Go is also having array. If you take var of a of 5 of int, I am not telling is it array or not, because I am telling there is a global var, that is a variable. Var is nothing but it is a variable. Why? Because I'm only having 25 keywords in Go language. Correct, right? So all those 25 keywords, I cannot, if at all, if I support hash map, linked list, double linked list, concurrent linked list, util interface, and set interface, map interface. If I add like this, my dictionary will become 1 lakh of keywords. So that is where Go is giving 25 keywords only. Where variable, I'm declaring an array b, which is equal to 5 int of 1 2 3 4 5. So this is nothing but an array. It's simply I'm declaring without mentioning array keyword. I can write variable keyword for any data type. It's a default data type, customized data type for dynamically, or sorry, not dynamically, any data you can send to this particular arrays. Okay. And slices, this is a one important topic, like array list in Java, maps in Java. If you want to work with arrays, if you want to get a few items, or if you want to add new items, if you want to get few items like that, arrays operations, right, you can achieve with slices. All these concepts are why I'm explaining is you should feel what is Go. Is it easy or difficult? That is what I the main emphasis here. I'm going to have constants, I'm going to have variables, I'm going to have arrays, I'm going to have slices. The slices is a keyword which is I can operate on arrays, I can work with arrays. Okay, are you clear here? Okay, yes. Okay. And maps, that's a keyword. Map is nothing but key and value pair, but in Java I can keep key and value pair anything. Key should be integer or string. In a similar way, I'm going to have key value pair. So map of map of map of map of map. Inner maps I can do in Go also. Key value pair, it is saying that. Okay. Now there are control structures: if loop, for loop, switch loop. I'm going to have a program here. I'm going to take care of the program: if loop, for loop, and switch loop. These are the three control structures in Go. Every programming will have, right? If loop, for loop, and switch loop. So this is a control structure. For example, if v is equal to math dot power of x comma n, v is less than 10. So I want to take a power of a particular function, and if it is less than 10, I want to print something like that. Okay. Switch OS is equal to runtime go OS, then print that OS, otherwise unknown OS. If at all, if your OS is Go operating system, print that operating system, otherwise unknown operating system. So that is what sys statements. Okay. And it is an important point, function, very, very important point. Though you declare control, though you declare map, though you declare arrays, though you don't declare arrays, all things make sense. It doesn't recommend. Go programming language will work without these, but without function, I can Go programming language will not work. Okay. Function is the heart of Go language. So the beauty of this particular concept is I wrote a program, I can use that program as a function, and a function can return more than one value. So if I'm writing function is equal to my function abc int, which is nothing but integer, I can take that, and my function can return 2 3 4 or only two values. I can declare an empty value, I need only one value. So like the dynamic returning values also I can manage. If you see on the first statement, x comma y, two values are returned. In the second statement, if you need two values you can take it, if you need one value you can take it. So optional parameter, that is what that underscore, understand, right? So function is an important perspective of Go. Without function you cannot achieve a Go. Clear? So for example, I'm creating anonymous function here, function squares, which is nothing but a function which is returning next number square. If I'm giving 4, going to give me 25 because next time 25. So I can use anywhere squares of int. I can use anywhere in any library, anywhere I can use it. I mean, I no need to import that particular statement. I no need to import that particular package. Anywhere I can use within the Go. There is no scope operator for Go in the Go language. And defer, just now I explained, right? So once you create a file, you can close the file once you write the content. That is defer function. Close file. Defer is a function. It's also a function. Please close this file only when I write the content. Otherwise, you can close the file. and if I am not writing the content, don't close the file. That is what defer. And this is one of the important topics, structs. So this is a C syntax because in Java we have classes, correct, right? A similar way to writing classes, a similar way of writing classes is nothing but structs. Okay, where if you take vertex structs, I'm taking like employee, type employee, struct employee number, integer, employee name, string, like that. So I'm taking x as one coordinate, y as a one coordinate, and I'm passing the values to the function vertex of 1 comma 2, v dot x is equal to 4, and print v dot x. So this is where I'm declaring my classes. A class in Java typically a structs in Go language. Sir, I'm giving this information only which will give a confidence for you. You can easily learn Go. This is what in Go. Nothing is there. I'm giving in and out of Go with the syntaxes, with the structures, with the keywords, with the features, with the functionalities. So it will definitely give a good confidence to learn Go. Are you clear? Yep. So I'll explain this. And interfaces. This is what I'm going to have interface. Okay. If you take here, please listen this particular slide. 1 second. Type animal interface. I'm going to have a method name string. So I'm declaring that name. Correct, right? So in Java, what I'll write public interface animal, and I'm writing name, which will return string. That is what I'll write in Go Java. Okay. Now I'm using dog as a structure. I'm using a class as a dog. Okay. And I am taking this particular dog to interface, and I want to return that particular name from that particular implementation. So the first keyword is animal is interface, which is having a method. If you call that method name, it will give a string. That is what interface. Correct, right? And I'm creating a class which is a dog class. Okay. And I'm writing a function which I am passing my dog class to my interface, which is nothing but name method. Am I using animal here? No, I'm not using animal. I'm directly using name method. That is anonymous function or anonymous interface. I can say that. I am not using animal. If you see animal anywhere used apart from declaring my interface, animal interface declaration is not required. It is not useful, but I need to declare because I have a coding standard. I need to declare, but in real time, I can use that directly an implementation of that interface in here, which will return that particular implementation. This is what interface name declaration is not mandatory. Directly I can embed my class to that particular interface, and I can invoke my interface method. This is not a dynamic abstraction, compile time abstraction. This is a compile time abstraction, not a dynamic abstraction. Okay. Yep. It's a concurrency. Just now I mentioned it is having go routines and channels, and select statement will be there. Okay. So this is what concurrency. Maybe I explain these routines and all those things. Okay. uh, Maybe I'll focus on some programs which will give you some good hands-on here. So I'll take some programs here. I'll explain some programs here. So uh, arrays. I'll take some example. This is what my arrays, right? I'll explain this code here. Maybe so rather than here, I will type in my playground. I have a playground, right? So this is what my code. What I'm doing here, you don't need to worry about the syntaxes and everything. I'm declaring a n of array with 10 elements, and ij are the integers. Correct, right? Now I'm initializing my array with n of I is equal to For every number I am increasing 100 and I want to give output. This is what my output. Okay, and for every element I want to give 100 plus that, and every element I want to print. This is what as some example on array. So if I run this, you saw that, right? 100, 101, 102, like this. So this will give a good confidence level for you. You can easily learn Go. That's what the confidence level I want to give. So please don't see syntaxes and all those things. I didn't explain anything on syntaxes. Correct, right? Did I explain syntaxes? You need to declare like this. Okay. Just it will easily, you can execute the code. It will give a good confidence level that, hey, I can also learn Go. That is what the confidence level I can bring for you. Okay. Now I am going to explain one more program. A small programs I'm not explaining complex program. Slices, just like array list in Go, right? So are you able to see my screen? Uh, yes, thank you. Now what I'm doing is I'm creating an array here, the same. Okay. Now what I will do is, let me remove one by one. I will remove the code. So one by one, I'm going to add the code here. So a lot of functionalities are there here. Okay. So first thing is I'm creating a main function. I'm creating a function print slice, which will print this. Length means it's a length, and cap means it will give how many elements. I will run this. Okay. Format, and I will run this. So it is printing me 9 elements: 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 5 4 comma 6 7 comma 8. I think in previous code it is written some strategy here. So length is 9. I used 9 elements. All elements I used. How many you used? The length is 9. How many you length is nothing but how many elements you used. What is the length and how many you used? That is what it is going to tell. Okay. Now this is what you understand, right? Now the next code is, what I want to do is one by one I'm adding code here. What I am doing is from first to 4 I want to read. First element to 4 element. First element to 4, right? So numbers of first element to fourth element. So if I format and if I click run, you see 1, 2, 3. 0 is not printed because I asked it to print from 1. I asked it to print from 0. I want to take 4 numbers but print from 1. This is what a slicing. So this is nothing but array list, reading elements of a particular portion. Yep. Okay. Now I want to execute some more code also. Some internal features also I'm going to talk. Okay. Now I want to apply a lower bound. Here I want to apply a lower bound, just like I am going to print here. I want only lower bound. So what it will give, till 3, all elements 0 comma 1 comma 2. This is called as a lower bound. Here I am telling starts from 1 and 4 numbers. I want only lower bound, only 3 elements: 0 comma 1 comma 2. Okay. This is called as lower bound. I want to give upper bound. So colon I gave before, that is lower bound. Colon I am giving after, that is upper bound. If I run this, 4 elements 4 5 6 7 8. From 4th onwards all the elements, that is upper bound. Before 3 all elements, that is what lower bound as well as upper bound. So these are the sum of the operations on slicing. Okay. I want to, last program I want to do is a employee program, something structs. It's a class level, right? Easily I can understand, right? Okay. So I'm defining a structure with name as well as age. I want to give name as well as age. This is what my program. Maybe I'll type in chat window other program. Sir, lower bound 3, why not 3 printed? From till third position. Till third position, all elements. 3 will not come here. So if you want 3 should come, then 4. Then this is what my other program on a structure. Sir, please, first of all, don't think about logic. If you see the structure of the code, you will understand easily how Go is easy. That's the only one point here. So here I am printing, I'm defining a structure, I'm creating a class, a function, which I'm taking this particular structure and I'm returning this. Okay. So where I want to print the name, I want to print name comma age. I want to print only name. So if you take this particular run, so a lot of things it will come here. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a structure with name comma age. These are the two properties I'm going to have, name comma age, and I'm going to create a person, a constructor. I'm adding name comma age, and I hard coding only if at all if person age is not sent, I will hard code and I will return that particular pointer. So I'll explain that particular object. Okay. Now, if you take first object Vijay comma 20, I gave name, I gave age, so it gave me Vijay comma 20, and I gave Kumar age comma 30. I gave the value for Kumar. Now Ramu, I'm calling person, okay, and I'm sending only name, then it is going to give me 0. And if I'm giving Sita and I'm giving Lakshman, so if you say person and new person, if you take person, age will not come. If you take new person, age will come. So some complex, I mean, it's only a simple code. What I took is a person, a function. If you instantiate this particular class, then age will come because I hard coded. Now Ramu, right? I took person. For Ramu, I took person, age will not come, only name will come. So that's what for Ramu you didn't get age. For Sita, but for new person Lakshman, I only gave age. I don't give age, but I took new person, age came. So this is what ideally working of structs. So these are the simple list of programs which you can focus on this Go language. Definitely, I hope this workshop is helpful. Maybe uh, yes, I explained from the beginning. So some people will like basics, some people will like directly programming, some people will like over an introduction. So it's really tough to handle all the people. Okay. So whatever the way I have taken this particular course, please update your feedback to my email id. Maybe so just like where I want to see what exactly you are looking in the next class. I'm writing just my email id here. Please yep, tomorrow I'm going to show the installation. So I'm going to show it installation. Tomorrow I'm going to show the installation. This is what my email. Yep. Okay, fine. So here please tomorrow what I'm going to talk is, on tomorrow workshop I'm going to talk especially on the differences. Someone asking Go with Python, Go versus Java, Go with Node.js, and B framework, B Go framework. This is what I'm going to talk tomorrow.